Alright guys, I'm going to try to explain a problem I was having here with, and I'm going to have to do this with one hand, right, because I have no use of my left hand. My son's not here to help me with the video, so I'm going to have to pause here and there to show you guys what was happening here. Let me pause for a second. So at the bottom of the stroke here, what was happening is the shell carrier was advancing just a little bit too much, and you see the slot there that the case goes into, right? Well, right there on the left hand side, that, you know, the shell plate carrier, it was at the bottom stroke, it would advance for just a split second down at the bottom, and then it would hang up the case on the left hand side of that center. You see right there that on the case feeder, that little slot where the left side of it, where that little corner is, it would hang up on that shell and on the base, and it would not let it go in. Right there it would hang up and it wouldn't slide in. It would hang on to one side, and then once I saw what was happening, it actually, when I would relax the handle for just a second backwards, the shell, the plate carrier would pop back into place and line up perfectly, and then let the shell go in. But I had to, like, you know, go full advance, and it would hang up. I'd have to back up for a second. That would line it up, and then the shell plate would pop back into place, and then I could go forward. But on regular, you know, just cycling through, it would not, you know, the cases kept hanging up. The carrier, the shell plate, I'm sorry, was, this whole thing is the carrier, the shell plate. It was advancing, you know, just, man, it may be a quarter of a degree too much, and that's why it was sticking on that little inside corner right there you see at the bottom of the screen. And again, I'm sorry that I don't have anybody helping me with this, guys. But anyway, hopefully y'all can understand what I'm saying. Now, I looked, let me pause a second again. I looked on the bottom of here, and you know, I tried to take the cover off, but if there is an adjustment for the clutch, then I can't see it, because you can't turn that. You know, I tried to turn it, and if I put any more force on it, it's definitely going to break it. So it's not meant to be adjusted as far as I can see. Like, I don't know if you guys remember these old Pro 1000s. It's got that little screw down here in the bottom, and when the shell plate got out of timing, you would put a Phillips screwdriver in there, and, you know, you turn it until it clicks back into place, and then the timing is right, and you keep on going. Well, that I can see, this doesn't have anything like that. So the only other thing that controls the timing is, hold on just a second, the what do you call it, this little rod, the rod that goes in that center hole right there that you see right in the center of the screen. You guys know what it is, the advanced rod. So I don't know how, maybe it got twisted just a little bit too much, and that's what was causing it to advance just a little bit too much. And I just kind of figured this, I just figured that might be what was causing the problem. You know, that clutch might be adjustable. You know, I don't know. I couldn't find an adjustment. You know, like I said, I just got this today, and I wasn't going to tear it apart. And so I thought, well, if that is, you know, advancing it too far, you know, maybe, I don't know, somebody was testing it or something. I have no idea. And maybe it just got stuck in the middle on a shell, and they pulled a little too hard on it or something. You know, stuff happens. So what I did was, I got my vise, handle with one freaking hand here. Man, this is a pain in the butt, man. I stuck that guy here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I caught it right in there, right? So if it sits like that, you can see when you come down, as that shell plate, as the shell plate's coming down, it's going to rotate counterclockwise because of that twist. Well, I figured since this is rotating just a little bit too much, I grabbed it right in there. Just grabbed it up close to where the twist starts, right there somewhere. You can see where it starts to twist. I grabbed it right there, put the vice grip, a crescent wrench right here, and gave it a little twist like this, counterclockwise. So what that did is took a little bit of twist out of it in the opposite direction of the shell carrier's rotation, which took a little bit of advance out of it. If that, I mean, I know you guys know like what I'm trying to say here. I mean, I know it makes sense to you guys. You guys that do this stuff, I know I don't have to explain that anymore. You know what I'm talking about. So, and also I made sure that this, this guy up here was completely tight so that that wasn't going up any farther than usual or anything like that. But here, let me pause one more second. All right, so again, now you guys can see the case coming in down there. Because again, I'm trying to do this with one freaking hand, guys. I'm sorry. You see the case coming in. I'm kind of pushing in on it with my damn leg. Now you see how it pops into place and doesn't over advance. Now the shell can just slide right in. Whereas before, it would advance it just a hair too much and it would get stuck. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should have got this view when I did it before I did the tweak on that advancing rod. I just didn't think it was going to work or it was going to be that easy. But anyway, that fixed the problem. So I mean, if you guys ever start having a problem like that, look at that rod. I imagine after a bit of time that rod's going to get twisted, or when a case gets hung up, if you push hard on the advance on the lever, when a case is hung up or if a primer's stuck, it's going to twist that rod. I think. I don't know. I'm not. Let's see. Actually, I'm not sure if it's going to. Like I said, right now, I don't know how this thing advances because I didn't get that clutch down apart. So I'm not gonna speculate as to what made it do that. I don't know. I just know that the plate was hanging up, and I made a little tweak to that the advance rod, and I don't know if this is the soft advance or the hard advance is what came with it, and the problem went away. Another slight little problem I saw was that the shell plate sits a little bit proud of, you see that? It's the same thing over here on this surface. Let me pause. This, you can see it right across there. How that sits a little bit proud of that surface right there where the case slider comes in. It's a little bit proud, so the cases kind of want to tip a little bit there. I'm not sure why they didn't make that completely level, but you can see it's sitting up maybe 25 thousandths. Right there you see it. And that's actually causing, that was another part of the reason that the shell was trying to tip over, but now that I adjusted the rod, that's not really enough of a problem for it to try to tip over anymore. I'm not sure why it's proud of that surface right there where they slide in. It's not, yeah, it's not plastic. I'm sorry, guys. It's aluminum. Had a weird shade on it. But, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a problem right now. You can see it's got a little bit of a bevel on it. You see that? It's got a little bevel on it right there at the very bottom where the shell slides in on the bottom surface. So I guess help it, kind of ride up on that surface. And I'm not sure why they made that, proud of that surface right there. I would have just made it, completely flush with that surface where the cases are sliding in, or, just a couple of thousandths, under it to avoid any, but I guess it's kind of hard when you're mass producing to, make sure those surfaces sit completely, flush. But if it becomes a problem, I can just put it in the lathe and, take a couple of thousandths off the top of the shell carrier until it is flush with that. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. Like I said, it's I just have to remember that a lot of people get upset when these things don't work right, and there's a lot of moving parts, and you can't just be yanking on that handle when you get upset, because all it does is break things and make the problem worse. If it doesn't advance, figure out what the problem is. Don't just yeet on the handle, because that's not going to make it any better. Anyway, happy reloading, guys. I hope that helps one of you. I did look and I couldn't find anything on that on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one to come across that, but it is what it is. It's still a good press. I mean, it's solid, and I haven't reloaded anything yet, but I don't think I'm going to have any problems at all. I do all my reloading with the priming with a separate Lee app press with the priming stuff on it, and I don't prime on the reloaders just to avoid that hassle of a primer, getting in there crooked or something like that. And when I do reload, I'll reload, 800, 1,000, and that'll last me, half a year, something like that. But at any rate, happy reloading, guys. Hope that helps somebody. Have a good one.